What we all think of that, huh? What do we all make of that, huh? What do we got to say? Oh boy, that was something else. That was something else. You get a few people in the building, and we'll get everyone's perception on what just happened. I'm not going to keep this one going long. I'm not going to keep this one going long, but oh boy, boy. Oh fuck me. That was like the writing was on the wall, lads. The writing was on the wall. I want to know what everyone's thoughts are. Intentional or unintentional? He definitely bored in with his head, no doubt about that. But let's turn it down. He definitely bored in with his head, I've no doubt about that. But you gotta be oh man, um big up to Joe. Good and I'm more pissed off that French girl didn't get a decision win over Ebony Bridges. Yeah, I only caught the back end of that fight. I caught like the sixth round to the eighth round. It looked like she was doing well. Looked like she was doing well. The French girl. That French girl was pretty as hell. Holy shit. Um, it looked like she was doing well. Bridges didn't look at the races. I don't know. They were saying she hurt her hand or something. I missed the start. I didn't catch the start. But yeah, I did. It looked like I didn't watch the Katie Taylor fight. I was doing something else at that time. Anticlimactic is right. Oh lads, I don't even know where to start with this. Like that was just such a flippin' oh, mate. That from as soon that second round told me everything I needed to know about what was gonna happen. I was looking at that second round, and I was actually, like, just kind of wincing every time Lara would open up on Josh Warrington because I was like, "Here, this guy's gonna get caught again. This guy's gonna get caught again." Seriously. I was like, "This is sooner or later. G-man, keep the ball on the deck." What's the ball on the deck? But I was like, "Yeah, this guy's gonna get caught again." Literally, because I said that what Warrington needed to do was box in the back foot, keep it at range, don't engage, and you'd be good to go. What did he do? He engaged. He stayed in the pocket. And I was looking at that like, have you not learned? Like, have you not seen what happened in the first fight? Have you not learned that doing that got you caught? Because it looked exactly like it was going to go the same way as the first one. And I was just like, have you not like learned? I think Josh was looking for a way out. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I think I seen someone say that Warren in the post-fight interview said that he felt it was from a punch. I mean, Warrington clearly wanted no smoke. They really should. Someone needs to order a rematch. They should order a rematch because that right there, that's not an end. Different if we had an ending where it was a legit draw. Let's say we did have a 12 rounder and it was a legit draw. You might say, maybe, but not like this. You have to get another fight. Did I hear his interview? Apparently, he said that he hit him with a punch, and that was what caused it, which was complete BS if he said that, because it clearly wasn't a punch. I mean, anyone could have seen that that was a headbutt. It was a headbutt. It's just whether it was intentional or not. Because admittedly, like look at Andre Ward. People said that he was what's the word? Was always going for legal headbutts. Andre Ward was very reckless with his head. He was, but I don't think he was ever doing it illegally. He was just extremely reckless with it. Extremely reckless. Lara landed a big right hand through the guard in the first round, and Warrington looked stunned. I seen that. That was one thing I noticed about that first round. When I saw that right hand go in, I was like, "Oh no!" Literally, Warrington to me looked like a man who wasn't at the ready. He wasn't at the races. To me, he just looked like someone who I think he kind of built himself up to think, it was this, it was that. These are the reasons why I lost. And I think in that rematch, it's kind of going to be similar to how Deontay Wilder might be against Tyson Fury. It kind of all came back and it was like, nah, man, it's the exact same as last time, just there's fans in attendance. I said that it was like, you know, Chris Andre used a good example as well. He quoted, from my video, and he said it's like when I quoted about Richard the Lionheart dying, I said, like, you could survive wars, battles against much, much fiercer foes, but at some stage, you might just meet someone who, like that boy who, shot the arrow at him, Might not seem like much, but that can take you out. Shout out to Jono. Great channel, by the way, Big Boys Boxing. What's the bet? Warrington don't end up fighting Lara again. Boy knows he can't handle Lara's power. He's good for a round or two. The power started to get into him. I would like to see them get this settled and do the trilogy. I would. I think that I think they need to. Like Josh Warrington just keeps saying he wanted to get, redemption. He wanted to right the wrong. The wrong's not written. It's not like he won this fight. He didn't win it. It was a technical draw. No one won. It really should have been a no contest, to be fair. But as far as I'm concerned, no, we need to see a third fight because the second fight, in my opinion, isn't over. This second fight is still, we're still waiting for the second fight because I don't count this as the second fight. This was just an absolute. Lara was too strong for Warrington. I think Lara was always going to win. I think Lara was always, always, always going to win this fight. Mida was just, he was always going to win this fight. That's why I said, when I said in my preview, I was like, I couldn't see anything other than an early Lara win because I said Warrington needs to do this, but I don't think he will. And based upon what I saw in there, he wasn't going to do it. He was not going to do it. See Lara Galahad next. Galahad, I think stylistically would have an easier time with Lara. Much because Galahad will keep it at range. He will box negatively if he needs to. Depends how that. You see, that's cost Lara a lot of time. You see that a cut like that's very deep. I'm talking months. That's going to be a month. That's going to take months to heal that cut. That cut is going to take months to heal. You'll be looking about 8 months. And even then, a cut like that screwed Lara up pretty much for the long term because a cut like that is going to take a while to heal and the scar tissue is never going to go away. The scar tissue is going to be there. So that might have absolutely just stopped Lara in his tracks. I don't know if it was deliberate, but Lara's punches came towards the end. We're smashing them all over the ring. I don't see a third happening. Warrington still clear. Look, I'd like to get this over with and have it done because I genuinely feel it needs to. And I feel like Lara is out that third fight. They should do it. Oh, man. That was just... That whole show wasn't great. Like, I'm someone who they always say, gee, you're a bit glass is half full, aren't you, when it comes to this? This show wasn't great. Like, on paper, it looked good. But in reality, it wasn't the case. I didn't enjoy this show at all. I thought this show was pretty lackluster and everything. Like, Maxie Hughes did very well. That was a very good performance. Wasn't overly impressed with Conor Benn. Main event was I didn't even watch Katie Taylor. Didn't watch the Katie Taylor fight. Oh, man. Ben saved the show. Not really. I did not look pretty. That eye is gonna cause him problems for a while now. A while. Maybe we'll get Galahad Warrington too. Oh Jesus, no. Look. Why didn't they just take that fight in the first place? Like, think of it like this: how stupid would it be? And I'm just going to use that word "stupid" because how stupid would it be if Warrington ends up fighting Galahad for his title next? And it's like, why didn't you just fight him in the first place? You should have just got rid of the man and got it out of the way. Why didn't you just fight him in the first? Why did you have to go down this road? It's the fans, as I said, I feel sorry for because it's one thing for them to go and get a draw when it's a 12-round fight, and it might be good, might be entertaining, stuff like that. Oh man. Oh, I don't know. It's the fans I feel sorry for. Dirty Josh Harley Quinn saying he had nothing to apologize for, but he knew what he was doing. Well, Mike Costello, and I have to say, I don't know why Eddie Hearn has him on commentary. I don't like his commentary at all. He is clearly a radio commentator because I don't find him. He was putting me to sleep on this guy. I don't like Mike Costello's commentary. Nothing against the guy personally, but he's not my cup of tea. Definitely not. And he was making it out as though nothing happened. Maxie Hughes, brilliant performance from Maxie Hughes. Absolutely excellent. Very good work from Maxie Hughes. I was very impressed with him. I definitely was. I thought he done a great job in there. Thought he boxed well. Boxed to a perfect tee. Kept his game plan good. Oh man, it was just I don't know. I don't know what it was. I was looking forward to that fight and that card so much. I just feel like the whole card was just so anticlimactic. You know, it's sort of way, lads. You know, when you're just like, ugh, this was just not fun. You know, it's just anticlimactic card, and yeah, Costello was too biased. Andy Lee was trying to keep him in check. I noticed that in the Boazzi fight. Did you not notice that? Did some of you guys not notice that as well? In the Boazzi fight, he was very, very pro Boazzi to a large extent. And I was thinking, I wonder is that going to be something that he's going to keep? Is that just a once off, or is he going to stay like that? And it's obvious that he's staying like that. It's obvious he's going to stay like that. Oh man, yo man, some people pay money just to watch that. Yeah, I know. I hopefully they will get reimbursed, or they'll get something. You know, if they do another fight, hopefully they'll give them fans something for them. You know, they'll give them something. And what did you make of the kind of end scorecards? I gave Granados 3 rounds, like one judge, but the other two. Yeah, I gave Granados a few rounds. He won about 3 rounds in there. He was Granados was the classic veteran. You know, he was doing those veteran tactics. He knew how to survive. That's the best way I describe what Adrian Granados did. He knew how to survive in there. And that's basically what he was doing. So Adrian Granados, he won rounds, but you know, obviously Conor Ben clearly won the fight, definitely. But yeah, he's fiddly. He's definitely fiddly, is Adrian Granados. Lara was already landing clean. He was going to knock him out again. It was just a matter of time. Yep. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Matchroom's zone output hasn't been impressive as their Sky shows. I know it's early days, but it needs to improve. Yeah, I gave them growing pains. I said after fight camp, okay, growing pains, but I think I said to Hatman, I was talking to Hatman about this, and I said, like, it's literally like Sky 2.0. And it's like we complain, well, I did, complained a lot about Sky, you know, the bias of the commentary, the show is not being good enough. But it's like it goes to the zone now, and those same complaints about Sky we now have with the zone. And it'd be interesting to see when Sky have their own shows. Is it any different? Are they a little bit more neutral? Mm, I thought the commentary with the Sky show when they were covering Manny Pacquiao versus Dennis Ugas was very good. You know, and I'm not a big fan of Matthew Macklin and Adam Smith on commentary, but I had no complaint. I thought they were very good. They scored the fight very well. You know, it was I thought that was no I thought that was okay. Yeah, 71 in the building and only 20 likes. If you could, please smash the like button. Helps your boy out exponentially. It really does. We'll keep this going for about 40 minutes or so. Fight of the night, Maxi Hughes. I was extremely, extremely impressed with Maxi Hughes. He boxed extremely well. I thought he would win, but I definitely didn't think he'd win it as easily as he did. That surprised me, because I thought that he might have some moments in there which are tough because this guy, Straffon, is a big puncher. But no, for me, Maxi Hughes, very, very impressive. He called out Devin Haney straight after. Um, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. But that card, in a nutshell, I did see Hopi Price. I think someone asked about Hopi Price earlier. I was impressed with that. I thought Hopi Price looked very, very good actually as well. Hopi Price was a good card. That's a good shout, Joe. Looked impressed. You enjoyed the Bridges fight, even though the decision stunk. I didn't see the full Bridges fight, to be fair. I wasn't around for the full fight, but definitely I got the impression from I saw the sixth, seventh, and the eighth round. It looked to me like the French girl was in control, just from my opinion. Maxi is a good lad, drinks in my local. Maxi Hughes, I've had Maxi on this channel before, and he's a very good lad. He's a very nice guy. And I have to say, he is like Maxi Hughes is what I would show a young fighter. Maxi Hughes is someone who's 5 losses, but look at the performances he's able to put in. Look at how much he's been able to improve. I mean, I think too many people let a loss define their career. They really do let a loss define his career. It's just it's sad in that way. And I remember so many fighters saying, I just don't want to lose my O. Max Hughes has 5 losses and he's a fantastic fighter. He really is. Defeat doesn't hinder a fighter who's willing to work. And Maxi Hughes is someone I wonder because he obviously he works as well as train, and it's really only in the last couple of years he's got the MTK backing. I wonder if Maxi Hughes, when he turned pro originally, if he'd had backing from obviously I don't know if MTK were around back then, but if he'd had a managerial company supporting him, if he'd had proper like access to training full time, how he would have done. Because when we see Maxi Hughes now, he's very good. He's got the backing, he's got support, he's got a good coach and Sean O'Hagan. I really do think that if he turned pro to that kind of support, Maxi Hughes would be much further on than he is. And Maxi Hughes is still like he's brilliant. I was very impressed with him in that fight. And it's the fact that he didn't waste anything. Like there was no punches he wasted. He was economical. His movement was good without being excessive. I thought Maxi Hughes put on a clinic every single round I gave him, and the judges were in agreement apart from one. The only round that was marginally close was the first round in that fight. Every other round was Maxi Hughes and Maxi Hughes big. Brilliant. Is a perfect example why defeat shouldn't hinder a fighter's progress, provided you learn from the experience. I think that you summed it up best. I think that a defeat. Look, what's wrong with saying that fighter was the better fighter on the night? Doesn't mean that they're the better fighter in a whole. You could just say he was the better fighter on the night. You take what happened on the night, you learn, you improve. I think that's the best way to build you as a fighter. If you're just going to go and say, "Oh, it was this. Oh, it was that. Oh, if it had been the rematch, I could do the exact same thing. It was just the weight cut. It was just this. It was the heavy suit." You're never going to improve, and you're always going to know deep down. You're always going to know that that wasn't the reason why you lost that fight because he was the better man on the night. Say it, move on, and try and improve. And by saying he's the better man on the night doesn't mean he was the better man as a whole. It just means on the night they got their tactics right. Okay, on the next night I'll be the better man. Bridges was dominating. The broke right hand. Couldn't get her momentum back. Oh, she broke her hand, did she? I didn't see that. See, like I said, I didn't see the full fight. I only saw the 6 to 7, the 8 round. Big up to Sean. What did you think about Ben? Yeah, like I didn't really. He won the fight clearly, but I wasn't exactly impressed. And Ben has a long, long, long way to go before he's anywhere near world level. In fact, to be honest with you, I would keep him far away from David Avanesian. I think David Avanesian will knock Conor Ben into outer space. He really will. Conor Ben is too emotional. He just though everything about he's too emotional. And I think that Conor Ben in a really tough fight, that emotion will come back to bite him for 2 reasons. One, I think he'll burn up energy because you see, he just everything has emotion in it, and that can burn your energy up. And second of all, he loads too much up on his shots, and if you're missing or you're hitting gloves in a 12 round fight, you're going to be knackered. And I think that someone who has good timing, you know, good counter puncher, oh, he's gonna he's gonna have a hard time dealing with that. I think. Story G man, big up to Limo. Don't think Warren cheated. However, I would say he was afraid of getting hit by Lara. What do you think? I think that the demons came back in that first round when he took that right hand. I think that for Warrington, he could tell himself it was this, it was that, it was this external reasons. I think that when he started taking them shots from Lara, I think the memories, and you got to think of it like this, right? He was knocked out. It's not like imagine being in there with a big puncher, but you go the distance, you maybe lose the close decision, you have a rematch. You'll know his punching power is there. I'd imagine it's different when you know, hang on, it's like this guy has iced me. I remember what happened when he iced me last time. I think that just came back to the surface. And I think the writing was on the wall. I don't think that Josh Warrington was ever going to win this fight. Boxing finesse. I'm not trying to be a fanboy, but oh man, appreciate that. Appreciate that, mate. I hope anyway. I had Josh Warrington up at the stoppage. Was pretty hard, man, to have many people up, to be honest with you, because it ended in 2 rounds. It could well, I had it a draw. I gave Warrington the first round, and I gave the second round to Mauricio Lara. But as far as I was concerned, it was always going to go one way. Always going to go one way. At 12, big up G man. Just hit the like button. Keep the good content coming. Just make sure you keep it real. You'll always get it real on this channel, man. You know me. You know me. I say it like it is. And I believe you me, I pissed a lot of people off by saying it like it is. I always get accused of being like anti-patriotic because I always shit on Irish fighters. Define shitting on Irish fighters. If I don't deem them to be particularly good, I'm not going to turn around and say, oh, they're brilliant when they're clearly not. Like, it's like Jay Quigley's going to fight Demetrius Andre. Like, that is going to, like, that had, what? What? Jay Quigley does not deserve a world title shot, and he's going to get battered from pillar to post if he fights Demetrius Andre. But I'll always keep it real. Like, I don't think I could not. I've always been someone who, even like, put it like this, right? Even people I used to like see, like go out with, if they were getting favorable treatment, I'd always call BS on that. Like, I remember I used to see a girl years ago, like 2 or 3 years, actually, come what Christmas. And I remember her telling me about how much she was getting favorable treatment at work, and I was like, even to her, I was like, "That's bullshit." Like, if I don't know why, I've always been like that. If I see something that I just think is BS, I just say it. I don't know why. It's got me in trouble a lot as well over the years. Agree with that, mate. What do you make of Warrington's corner slagging Mauricio Lara off? Well, that's just why would they be slagging Mauricio Lara off? Like, that the man has already beaten Josh Warrington. Like, don't slag him off. He's already, and I'm sure if they have a third fight, he'll beat him again. I'm sure they will. 121 in the building. 46 likes. Appreciate it, lads and lassies. If you could drop by, smash the like button. Actually, whilst I got you all here, how many more subs do we need before we hit 5k? 2 more subs. Ah, lads, that's 2 more goddamn subs. Need 2 more bleeding subscribers, and we've got 5,000. Share this live stream with anyone. I want me 5k. I want me 5k. I have to say, I found Katie Taylor dull. I'm not sure. She's very talented. Seems like a nice girl. Seems a lot, but I find her dull inside the ring and outside the ring. Sorry, Katie. I agree with you on that, Joe. I have to say, I've never met her personally. Everyone says she's a very lovely person, and I get that impression of her that she is quite nice. That I'd say she'd be lovely to be around. But I don't I don't find her entertaining, mate. I really don't. I don't. I was gonna cover the fight, and Mike Costello's commentary didn't help. But I was like, I'm not covering this. I'm like, no, it's just. I was like, no. I was like, I'm just like, no, it's not. I can't watch Katie Taylor. I don't know why. There it is, 5k. Boom, lads. Yous are the absolute G's. Yous are the absolute G's. 5,000 subs on this little channel. On this little channel I started. Yes, lads. Yeah, there you go. 5k. 5k. Wait until I bring this in. And I'll show you all. I can't believe that. Now something did good come from this night. I think I started the day with like 4,980. So we got 20 subs in a day. That's pretty good going. I'm absolutely delighted. I'm delighted with that. I'm absolutely delighted with that. And for some reason, it won't let me amend. Someone left a comment, and it wants me to allow it, but it won't let me. I'll add a wrench on there if anyone wants it. But look, you have 8 accounts. Oh man, I'm so happy with that. But look, we will. Next step is 100. Is 10k. Well, who knows? Maybe 100. But I'm so flipping. I'm delighted with that. You should do a live stream during the card once a week. Do you know what, right? I was actually going to do a live watch along for this, and I just ran into so many glitches trying to set it up because I was gonna do it with a laptop, but I couldn't get the camera to work properly, and it just looked awful. It looked awful. So I said, "Look, something's telling me not to do this live." And to be honest with you, you want to see my live reaction when I saw this fight get stopped. I was like, "Oh no!" I was like, "No, man, that's not fun." So maybe things happen for a reason. You know, that sort of way. Maybe that was why I wasn't meant to do a live stream. I do a live watch along. Katie Taylor has less personality than Postbox. Yeah, she's not exactly the most outgoing person. She does seem like a very nice person. Like I said, I've never actually met her in like person, but from everyone who's met her, who's known her, have said that she is actually quite nice to be around. And what I'm gonna do is, if you give me 1 sec, I want to just, I want to, where is that? I want to show you guys this. Where is my? There we go. I'll show you guys this before I do anything. Let's see. Can you see? Yeah, you can. You should be able to. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I'm so happy with that. Big up to everyone who subscribed. 5,004 subs. I'm so happy with that. I am so happy with that. So big up to everyone. Big up to everyone. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank yous all. Can, Katie Taylor be up to fight Jessica McCaskill. Can I tell you something what I think Katie Taylor needs to do? I've noticed this in her last two fights, right? Her last two fights, this one and Natasha Jonas. Katie Taylor has brought Natasha Jonas up from super featherweight. She brought Jennifer Han up from 126. Katie Taylor looked the smaller of the two in the ring. For me, Katie Taylor needs to go down in weight. I can't understand why Katie Taylor is bringing, like, she's had two fights against one who was campaigning a super feather, one was campaigning a feather, and on fight night they both look bigger. I suspect Katie Taylor isn't exactly cutting too much weight to get down to 135. I reckon she could move down in weight. Personally, I reckon she could move down in weight personally. So says 5K on my screen. Yes, man. Appreciate that. Yes, 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 yes. Did you see Dave promote Ade to do in between round interviews during the main shows? Yeah, yeah, no, me and him only spoke. How long did we speak? Because I done talk sport with him a fortnight ago, and I actually covered Garrett A. Davis. I was so happy they had me on like Zoom and everything. I was loving life, so I was. And yeah, me and him had a little chat about that. I'm actually going over to see Ade in either the end of this month or the start of next month, one or the other. I just need to get the pricing basically, but I need to find hotels as well because get booking hotels in London ain't straightforward anymore. Well, it is, but like what I mean by that is it's just they fill up fairly quick. Like I'm going to Belfast not next week, the week after. I can't get a hotel at all. They're all full. So I'm going over to see him end of this month, start of next month, one or the other. Katie probably walks around. Katie Taylor is very, very small for the weight. And I wouldn't mind because Katie Taylor started her career at super feather. Her first like two fights were at super feather. And she said, nah, the weight cut was a bit harsh. I wonder was she even cutting the weight at all? Maybe she was just a bit drained. Not drained, but maybe she found doing the weight, kind of maybe it was like maybe she's not used to it because she's been amateur for so long. And maybe it was a shock to the system and she feels more comfy at 135. But I think she's too small. I do. I think Katie Taylor could do featherweight if she really wanted. And that would be more so her weight. I believe anyway. Next fight to make for Conor Benn has to be Avanesian. If he's not ready now, he never will be. They won't take that fight. They will not put him in with David Avanesian. And I would make David Avanesian firm favorite. They will, in my opinion, they won't make that fight. No way. There's no way they'll make Avanesian versus Conor Benn next. I just can't see it. I just think that I just think that that's just too much of a risk. Conor Benn makes decent money for the guys at Matchroom, and they're just not going to want to risk that. They're not going to risk him losing. He gets knocked out one easily. I wonder who that. I wasn't even reading. I'd be happy to see Ben get Kelly next, even though Kelly lost. Yeah, I was looking at Conor Benn early on in that fight, and I was just thinking stylistically, Josh Kelly would be a problem for Conor Benn. I was really, really thinking that because I was looking at how much he was loading up and how much he was swinging and how he wasn't setting up any of the shots. And I was just thinking about Josh Kelly. I know Josh Kelly, the movement can be excessive and he wastes a lot of energy, but I was just thinking the speed, the reflexes, the accuracy, because Kelly is accurate. He is. You know, the problem I've always had with Josh Kelly is that he relies too much on reflexes. He thinks he's slicker than he is. There's a lot about Josh Kelly that I don't particularly like, but I think that stylistically he would definitely have a lot to bother Conor Benn. I don't know if I'd necessarily pick him because he does tend to slow down late on, but it's interesting. The zone should keep Laura Woods as the main presenter instead of Maya Jama. I agree. I agree with you 100% on that, Graham Taylor. They should. Laura Woods is a very good presenter. She is. I think Laura Woods is an excellent presenter. Look, Maya Jama is not my cup of tea. Um, Considering like who was it? Whose live stream was it? Was it Dell's live stream where someone said she gets 100 grand a show from the zone, and I was like, what? 100 grand per show? Gee man, does boxing still excite you? Yes, it does. No, it does. It does. Some fights more than others. Like I was really looking forward to this fight. It just was anticlimactic, but no, boxing still does excite me. Of course it does. Where's Maya Jama anyway? Did she quit? Apparently she's still enjoying her birthday, which was like 3 weeks ago. Look, they got Maya Jama. She got a big following, but I think that Laura Woods is a much better presenter. Laura Woods is cool. I like Laura Woods. She's cool. And personally, I think she is way better looking than Maya Jama. Like, if you said to me you have a choice between Laura Woods, Maya Jama, I'd be like Laura Woods every day of the week. I wouldn't even think. I'd be like Laura Woods, definitely, 100%. I think Laura Woods is way better than Maya Jama. And Laura Woods is just a better presenter. She's very good. Jim, man, I remember you saying you had an F1 channel in a live before. Will you ever make content on F1? Be interesting to hear your thoughts. Yeah, I don't even know the password for that. I made that like a year ago. I never really done much with it, but it would be something I'd think about. Yeah, I do the second channel now, which is the crime channel, which I'm recording an episode for tomorrow. I love talking about F1. I do, but that market is quite saturated at the minute. Like people talk about boxing being saturated. The F1 market is quite saturated with channels now at the minute. It really is. So how would you stand out? But we'll see. Look, I might. I do love talking about F1 though, to be fair. F1 is something that my friends look at more so than anything else. So I can talk about the F1 with them. I wouldn't really talk about it much on the live stream. But what I will say is I really like this Zandvoort track. I knew this track was going to be good, but the problem is tomorrow is going to be dull. That racing is going to be terrible. Zandvoort is known for being hard to overtake in the junior formulas, where it's much easier to overtake. So it's going to be I can't see tomorrow's race being good. But I could be wrong. I mean, the walls are very close. It's an old school track. It's a shame what they did to the old Zandvoort, though. They built a golf course over it, which is a shame. But this new one is quite good too. This new one is quite good. 50 grand per. Jesus. Are you happy with the design price? Okay, mate. I'm happy to pay it so long as we get good cards. So long as we get good cards, I'm happy to pay it. If we're getting the same, what cards that we were getting before, and we're not getting any value for money, then I won't. I'll go on VipBox and just watch it that way. But I don't mind paying for cards. I don't mind that. I don't mind paying the £7 a month as long as I'm getting value for money. She went on holiday when the last fight camp was on. It hasn't come back yet. Apparently, I think she's still on leave. I do much prefer Laura Woods on the comment on the presenting. She's just better. She is better looking. Thank you. See? Thank you. Sorry, G man. No, I don't get the I just don't understand why like Dell is like, oh Maya Jama is amazing. I'm like, no, she's not. She's not. I don't get it. It's a nasty cut. I feel sorry for Lara. Most of his paycheck would probably be spent on surgery. You'd think that Eddie Hearn would just say, right, we'll cover that. Woods is, yes, she is. Too right, she is. Both those presenters aren't great. If they want female presenters, they should hire someone to feed them. Laura Woods is all right. If if it was like, I'd keep Laura Woods or I'd get Ali Drew. I don't like Michelle Joy. I think Michelle Joy Phelps is just annoying. Pheno boxing, she wouldn't travel. Pheno boxing is not bad, but I would get Ali Drew. Ali Drew knows her boxing. She does. What can DAZN improve? A lot of things. I don't like Mike Costello on commentary. I would get rid of him. I just find him very boring. I just can't really. I don't particularly like Mike Costello on commentary. Um, I don't mind keeping Laura Wood. Keep Ade. Ade's good, and he is. It's not just saying that because I'm mates with him, but he is. He is a good presenter. He's a good way of communicating. I would get some more. I would get Paulie Malignaggi. Just get Paulie. Everyone wants Paulie. The fans want Paulie. Get Paulie. We want Paulie. I want Paulie Malignaggi in. Boxing on the edge. Big up. Woods is a good presenter. Does a really solid job. Yep. Postman Pat. I remember him and Ty M Boots live stream. I was pissing myself laughing. Just left Ty M Boot there. Shout out to Postman Pat for the super chat. I was pissing myself laughing when I heard that. Big up to Ty M Boot. He thinks I'm rich because I give him super chats. He always calls me out on his lives whenever I give him a super chat. G-Man boxing, he's got that bag, and shout out to Ty M Boot. Has my best intro on YouTube. Can will outbox Connor. Man, I think Can is dead. As in, like, in terms of boxing. I don't think Can has it anymore. No, I don't think I think at this stage he's there for the taking. I agree with that. 100%. I agree completely with that. Laura Woods is a woman. Maya Jama is a girl. Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe that's why I'm not so keen on Maya Jama, because I don't want no girls. As in, like, I like, yeah, you see where I'm going with that, don't you? Maybe that's why I prefer Laura Woods, because she's just more of a, I don't know, she's just nicer. In fairness to Ty and Vucci, I give him like a fiver. I give him a fiver per stream. I don't think that's that much. It's like a fiver. Like, see, probably because I don't drink alcohol too much. That's probably why I save a lot of money. Like, I never buy it. I never really go out to drink, and that does save a lot of money. I remember when I was like 22. I was always drinking when I was like 22, and I was working the gym, and the gyms don't pay a lot of money. And I remember giving it up for like 6 weeks. I couldn't believe how much money I saved. So maybe that's why, because I don't spend it on alcohol. Like, I literally have my drink of choice for tonight has been a pint of water. I know, mad night, isn't it? I don't know. When I head over to London, I will have a drink or two. But until then, I probably won't. Last time I had a drink was when I was away in Cork for those few days. Big up the G-Man boxing. Where's the piss bottle? It's over there. Where's the piss bottle? Yeah, can't beat that. Like, I've seen people on, like, when I've been on lives, or like been in Dale's live or Hatman's, and the first thing they see when they see me is they ask, "Where's the piss bottle?" They need to get Ty and Boot on TV. Be gold. They'll never get. Could you imagine Ty and Boot on TV? Would you imagine him reporting? And if Coogan was there, or someone like, I think he is funny as hell. Yeah, Natasha Jonas is a good little presenter, so she is. She's a good little presenter now, I have to say. One thing I find interesting is the fighters now who've left Eddie Hearn and have gone to Sky. What do you guys make of the Sky deal? What do you guys make of the, like, stable that Sky have now? Obviously, it's very small, so, like, it's not going to have much depth, and it does. but like you got to give them the credit. They're only starting. What do you guys think of it though? I'm not surprised that a lot of them have left. I was a bit surprised Savannah Marshall, to be fair, leaving Eddie Hearn. That did surprise me. I wonder why, because obviously she wants to get the Clarissa Shields fight made, but I'm sure Eddie Hearn could have done that. I was surprised with that now, I have to say. That was the one name when I saw that, and I was like, "Ooh, really? Savannah Marshall?" That would explain why she wasn't at fight camp. Because remember, she was meant to fight at fight camp week 3. Would explain why that fight got pulled. Big up to G man, loving the develop of your channel. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's been fun. I've been enjoying. I don't know how I did it, but hey, look, I'm loving it. I'm not gonna complain. Cannot wait for. Please don't. God forbid. We don't want that. And if they did, who would they? They'd have to pull the card. They'd have to. Sky wouldn't want to. And AJ actually, this is AJ's last fight with Sky. He can decide whether he wants to go with the zone or Sky after this. And if I was AJ, I would be telling him go and stay with Sky. It just, I think AJ is outgrown Eddie Hearn and Sky. He really should go the Canelo route. And if he has a network that are willing to put his shows on pay per view, I would stick with Sky personally. Yeah, I like that fight. I think that fight would be very good. I would favor Savannah Marshall heavily in that fight. Heavily favor Savannah Marshall. I think she'll stop. I think she'll stop Clarissa Shields. Savannah Marshall is my personal favorite women's fighter. She's very fun to watch. She can punch and she goes for the knockout. She's a very good fighter, Savannah Marshall. Enjoy watching her fight. What do you think of tonight's card? For me, it was a bit underwhelming. Yeah, it was. I found it very underwhelming, mate, personally. I really did. I felt it just on paper, it looked like it was going to be such a good card. And in reality, it was like meh. The main event really. We'll talk about that as an isolated incident, but that was just meh. Where the hell is Felix Cash? Last fight on Matchroom was July 2020. Apparently, he was seen at week 2 of fight camp looking overweight. So I suspect maybe the weight was an issue. I'm going to be frank. I don't think Eddie Hearn has much favor. I don't think he has much faith in Felix Cash. He's already talking about putting Felix Cash in there for a world title fight. Cash isn't ready for a world title fight under no stretch. I think that Eddie Hearn, like Felix Cash, is not really a draw. He never was. And I think that Eddie Hearn is just trying to get as much money out of Felix Cash before he loses. He's better than the guys at British level, but Felix Cash doesn't bring anything to the table. Like, he's not endearing in terms of personality. He's not got much of a following. The people on the last card, on the BT card, that was the Denzel Bentley card. He was brought there as the away fighter. Now, I got that prediction way wrong. I favored Bentley heavily for that. But even after he won, it was like they were going to put him on fight camp. Okay, put him in the main event or co-main event. They were just going to put him on just a standard fight. And it was like, really? So yeah, Hearn feed them to the Lions. Yeah, I reckon Hearn is just looking to make as much money of him as he can and just get rid of him. Because I just don't think Hearn's, because put it like this, right? After that, to me, it would have made more sense to just, you know, put him in there, start building Felix Cash. I think someone's saying I spelled intentionally wrong. That's what the spell check put it down as. So, intentional, yeah. That's what the fucking, wait there a sec. Yeah, spell check working a treat. Mr. Jones. I'm sleeping with the YB's mother and sister. That makes me the main man. Jesus, mate. Jesus, mate. Holy shit. I agree with you about Marshall. Power strength mixed with technique. I think she'll stop Clarissa. Yep. Yeah, I'd be comfortably picking Savannah Marshall to win that fight inside the distance. I just think that Clarissa Shields can box as well, but Savannah Marshall, I think, has her number. I would pick Chantel Cameron to win that fight. personally. I think Katie Taylor is too small at 135, much less 140. I would favor Chantel Cameron very heavily to win that fight. Very heavily. I think she's gonna win that undisputed tournament at 140. Chantel Cameron's a good fighter, very good fighter. You know, I've always been very keen on Chantel Cameron. You know, she's a good fighter, very good fighter. Who else do we have? Savannah Marshall, the queen of the bolo uppercut. Jeez. Andy Ruiz is said to be a late. Really? No, they wouldn't. No, really? That would be crazy if they did that. Josh Warrington versus Catrell is on Sky. That's straight. Isn't Catrell a Queensbury fighter? I actually thought that'd be on Queensbury because Catrell's a Queensbury fighter. I like Josh Warrington. I'm not really. I don't really get excited for that fight. You know, I just don't see anything other than a Josh Warrington win. It's not really exciting me. Catrell versus Warrington or Catrell versus Taylor. And Jack Catrell's always looked good without ever looking spectacular. You know, that sort of way. I just feel like Catrell will end up getting stopped by Josh Taylor. I don't know why. I just don't find that fight to be entertaining. Well, it'll be entertaining, but I'm not hyped for it. Cameron will be the next best thing in women's boxing. I think she could definitely, because I rate Chantel Cameron very highly. I rate Chantel Cameron quite high. I think she's a very good fighter. Very good fighter. Who do you have? Ramirez versus Prograis. I would go with Regis Prograis to win that fight. I think Regis Prograis is exceptionally talented. I think that'd be a great fight. But I think Regis Prograis, I think he is just, when you look at someone, you just think he is special. And that just goes to show how good Josh Taylor is, because Josh Taylor beat Prograis. It was a close fight. It was very close. But for my money, Josh Taylor won the fight. I think Prograis causes damage at 140 and 147. He really does. Smart move by Taylor joining Sky. You notice the way now that Taylor is with Sky, you're seeing him more on other platforms. Whereas before, when he was just kind of with Barry McGuigan, people still didn't know who he was. You know? I can't see it. I can't see it. That kind of fight. Conor Benn never been in there with a puncher. Never been in there with someone with really, really good timing. Never been in there with a big counter puncher. I think if we get that, we could see trouble for Conor Benn. I believe anyway. I just, that fight tonight told me enough about Conor Benn. I seen enough of what I needed to see from Conor Benn in that fight to know that he's probably going to max out at European level. He's going to max out at European level, I reckon. I like watching Conor Benn, but no, I just don't. I think that's his limit. I think European is his limit. I missed a load of these questions. They're coming in too fast. Ebony lost, in your opinion. Like I said, I didn't see the full fight, but the general consensus was that she did lose. That was the consensus. A lot of people are saying that what happened was she was doing well early on, and she hurt her right hand, or left. Yeah, she hurt her right hand, and from then on, it was like she just kind of went into kind of crisis mode, and ended up getting picked off. And the French girl won. That French girl was pretty. Jesus, she was actually not bad looking. Yeah, that was from what I saw, she was winning those rounds. The French girl. I still think Josh Kelly with the right trainer will be world class. He needs he needs to leave Adam Boot. I don't think Adam Boot is right for him. Maybe Grant Smith, Sonny Edwards trainer. He's a very good trainer. I think that he comes across someone who would keep Kelly grounded. I think Adam Boot is in love with Kelly's athleticism. I reckon Grant Smith he'd put Kelly in his place and keep him grounded, and have him boxing very well. It might be something that Josh Kelly would need to look at, because I think the way Kelly's been, He's just been get Kelly on them Ingles Pringles. I was gonna say Dominic Ingle, but then I was thinking, mm, yeah, same thing. Didn't see the full fight, but the last couple of rounds I saw the French girl dominating. Yeah, like I missed most of that card, or most of the start of the card. So I caught round 6, 7, 8. And for my money, the French girl won those 3 rounds, in my opinion. And as I said, like I haven't seen the full fight. So Ebony could have won the first 5 rounds for all I know, and it could have been legit. But I'm not gonna say who won. All I know is the rounds I saw, the French girl was winning because I didn't see the first few rounds. Everyone's telling me that Ebony kind of won the first couple of rounds, then she hurt her arm, her hand, and that was that. So defensively, Ben is far too open. Oh yeah, and I think Ben is the sort of guy where I reckon if he gets hurt, he would just see the red mist and he'd just go for broke, and that really could be his detriment. To his detriment if he did that, in my opinion, anyway. But how many do we have? Like we have 184 in the chat. If you could, if everyone in the chat wouldn't mind, I would really. Holy shit! Actually, I've only just realized I have 184 people in the chat. I, I thought that was holy shit. I didn't know it was the one. Um, if you could, I'll smash the like button. I'd really appreciate it. It's been a good night. I got 5,000 subs, so I'm a happy G. I'm a happy. I only noticed that I was like 80, and I was like, wait, there's a one in front of that. Ben will get brute. Yeah, Avanesian will beat the living crap out of Conor Ben. That could get that. I could see that fight going real bad for Conor Ben. I could see him getting out of there pretty early. Like I mean, early. Like I mean, in a couple of rounds. Josh met his match. He won't win a third fight either. No, no. I think they need to do it. I think that Mauricio Lara is owed that. In my opinion, anyway, he's owed a third fight, and he will win said third fight, in my opinion, if he could. Smash the old like button. How many likes do we have, actually? We have 95. Come on, 5 more likes and we've got 100. 5 more likes and your boy has 100. It's a good way to start the day because it's technically Sunday now. I hope Lara moves on to a world title against Galahad. He deserves it, but the problem is, right, that cut is going to hinder him in the long term because that cut is going to need work. It's going to have scar tissue. And I just really, man, it's just so annoying. D Hodge, what's up, G Man? And chat, salute LDBC, salute just so. Big up to D Hodge. Big up to my man D Hodge. Shout out to you, man. Thank you. Thank you for locking in. Did not like Hearn, want to go out that route, and said after Josh Taylor was bossing it. No, he was not. Did Eddie Hearn say Josh Taylor was bossing it? Really? Because honestly, Josh Taylor or Josh Kelly or Josh fucking Warrington looked like he was only a few rounds off. It looked like repeat was inevitable. From where I was, that fight looked like repeat was inevitable for Josh Taylor or Josh Warrington. Looked like he was going to get stopped again, just from what I saw. Boxing known sup. That's an interesting fight. Ben versus Hooker at 147. I would say Maurice Hooker. Maurice Hooker is a can box. I think he'd box the head off Conor Ben. You might question his punch resistance, and I think that's fair. But look, Maurice Hooker's been in there with better guys than Conor Ben. Much better. Like Virgil Ortiz, that was a good fight against Virgil. I reckon Maurice Hooker would beat Conor Ben. Definitely. In fact, Maurice Hooker, Kavalaskis, guys like that, even Lipinets, I would probably pick him over Conor Ben. Someone commented on my Conor Ben video saying, what about Boots Ennis? I was like, what? Do you want the boy to get knocked out? Boots Ennis would that would be horrible. Boots Ennis is one of the most impressive prospects I've seen in years. Like I could watch Jerron Ennis Boots all day. I could watch him no problem at all day. I think Ennis Boots is just and he is just fantastic. He really is. I really do like watching him. That cut needs plastic surgery. I agree. It'll affect him a long time. Yeah, you could see he was getting passed off by not fighting me. Yeah, like it's not just like it's not just the fact that it ends like this. That's going to hinder him long term. I fully believe that that's going to hinder him long term because that is always going to have the scar tissue. It's just a, it's just sad. I feel bad for Mauricio Lara. You know, the lion, as I said in my video about Richard the Lionheart, where I used that the lion slaying the ant. And actually, funny enough, I didn't tell you about what happened after Richard died. The lion slayed the ant. What did Richard do? Well, Richard was dying. He gave the boy 100 coins, whatever they called pound. I don't think they called them pounds back then, but he gave the boy money and said the boy can go free. And after Richard died, what happened? They flayed him alive. So in a way, it's kind of the same. He slain the ant, but ended up being slain almost unjustly, but similar. Wonder what happened to Dante Dixon. Looked a decent prospect. Hadn't fought since the Saunders Murray fight. Yeah, he looked good actually. He's quite young though. Dante Dixon. He's managed by Adametris, isn't he? But he's very young. I don't even think he's 20. If he was he 19 or 20, he still has a good bit of time. He still has a good bit of time. So maybe it's injuries. It could be anything, you know. But he looked decent. But as far as I'm concerned, as prospects go, Ennis and Ortiz, 1 and 2, whichever order. I personally prefer Ennis. They'll probably try and do that next. They probably will. Montagna Love, good prospect, stopped by Ivan Baranchek. Yeah, I seen that. I was Ivan Baranchek, Jose Zepeda, and Ivan Baranchek. Both of those guys are shot. That fight took it all out of them. Great fight. Brilliant fight. If no one's ever seen Baranchek versus Jose Zepeda, watch it. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. But both guys, as far as I'm concerned, are finished. I mean, that was 5 rounds that you could have got 15 rounds of action out of. I think Baranchek is finished, and Zepeda is not looking good either. Both those guys left it all in the ring that night. Ben versus Hooker is a good matchup, but definitely tell us where Ben's at. He needs to fight. He needs fights that are tough, so he learns. Even if he picks up a loss, he didn't have an amateur career. Exactly. Like if they put him in there against Maurice Hooker, I'd pick Maurice Hooker. If Conor Ben loses, am I going to turn around and say he's shit? He's this. No, he can learn from that. See what went wrong. See what you need to fix and adjust it. You stepped up a little bit too quick. It's okay. We're good to go. We'll go down. We'll readjust and we'll get back in there. I still think Matchroom are maneuvering for a vacant world title against a nobody or a shot fighter. It's going to be hard though. It's going to be hard to get a crack at a vacant title, and if he gets it, how is he going to? What if like let's just say for like a vacant title comes up somewhere out of nowhere, and he picks it up. What about guys like Josh Taylor coming up? What if he's mandatory for Boots Ennis? When you become a champion, you're obligated to fight these guys. If it's a mandatory, certainly. So I think that could have problems written all over it. Off topic, but Hunter White, I'd go for Hunter every day. I think Hunter's speed would cause White fits. Yeah, that was a career ender. Both guys left that in the ring. Both guys are never going to be the same. I thought Zepeda looked pretty bad last time out. And I thought, okay, maybe that was a once off. But then when I saw Baranchek, he looked shot as well. I was like, both guys, they left it all in the ring that night. Great fight. Hell of a fight it was. It was just, and I wouldn't mind. I knew the result. And normally when I watch a fight the next day when I know the result, it's not as fun. But that was just edge of me seat. And but both guys left it all in the ring. They really did. Lads, I've gone over the hour. I'm going to end it here. I really appreciate everyone who locked in. We ended up getting the 5K, which I'm delighted at, and 108 likes. So I'm going to call the live stream an end here. I'll definitely touch on this tomorrow. I'll probably do a video on it, but definitely we'll get review of the week recorded tomorrow as well. And I'll chat to you all then. So that's what we're going to do. That's the plan anyway. So I'll probably get a quick video up for you guys tomorrow as well, and we'll do a review of the week from Monday, and you'll get a crime video as well. I've been doing a lot of research on a familicide, which is family murder, and it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. You'll hear about it Monday. It's an American family, by the way, but you'll hear about it Monday. So there's something to look forward to. For now, guys, big up to Graham, big up to Joe, big up to all you guys. Man, you guys are all brilliant. We hit 5K. I'm only flipping delighted. For now, peace.